here is the lay of the land. There's not much movement in the top three, at least on the AP side. We've got Ohio State, Penn State, LSU. That remains in state. But Miami went up 1. Georgia went up 1. Oregon dropped a little despite the fact that they won.
Yep.
Florida State up a few to 7. Texas down 1 to 8. Illinois holding steady at 9. Texas A&M up 6 spots by virtue of their win over Penn State to number 10. I will not read through the entirety of this, but I will tell you that Ole Miss went up 4. Alabama went up 5. We also had Utah and Texas Tech, a game that we're going to talk about here in a little bit. Both of those schools up 4. The big loser, as you might expect, the Notre Dame Fighting Irish at 0-2.
0-2, Ty.
0-2, drops 16 spots, and they are still ranked.
Yeah.
At number 24.
How do you feel about that?
You've got much to say about this.
How do you feel about it?
I don't think they should be ranked.
Okay.
At 0-2.
Yeah.
Even though those games were close, and even though I do think that Notre Dame is still going to end up being a pretty good team at a minimum before the end of the season, I don't know how much precedent there is for an 0-2 team that played 2 quality opponents close, albeit very close, but not dropping out of the top 25, being so it was their first 2 games. Like, I would need to see at least 1 win before I'd want to keep you in the top 25. I don't even think I know I didn't have them in my Verballer top 12. I probably wouldn't have ranked them in the top 25. And again, I still think this is going to be a good team. They will have plenty of chances here before the end of the year to work their way back into this thing. But I don't know. That's a little too rich for my blood, even at 24.
Sure. Hey, real quick, it'd be great if you could consider subscribing to the YouTube channel down below. It really helps us out.
I would have dropped LSU a little bit after they scored 13 offensive points against Florida. Is that the number? I would have dropped LSU a little, not a lot. I don't consider Texas to be a top 10 team after yet another performance on offense that was less than impressive, especially through the air. I would have Georgia Tech higher, because I just think what they've done, having those 2 wins, one on the road to open the season against a power conference opponent, a decent power conference opponent, whatever your opinion of Colorado is. I don't think they're horrible. And Georgia Tech beating Clemson, I think, is impressive. I think Clemson is quality, but I'm fine with them dropping out of this poll like by a considerable margin, right? They're 8th or 9th or 10th or something in others receiving votes. Fine with USC entering here. I'd probably have Vandy a little bit higher. Again, Virginia Tech's not good from a couple weeks ago. South Carolina's without Lenora Sellers. They emphatically took care of business in both of those games. So I would have Vandy a little bit higher, just because we're comparing Vandy against teams who have played your Kent States and your Furmans and whatever. And so I like to reward teams for playing quality early on and measuring themselves against that quality. I'm fine with where Tennessee is, fine with where Alabama is. Iowa State, I might have dropped them a little bit, just another sluggish performance. We'll see. And Notre Dame, it's just, at this point, inexcusable to have them in the top 25. If this poll is to gauge wins and losses and who you've played and putting that into a cocktail, the NA portion of Notre Dame's wins, like these are we're sort of celebrating the winningest winners who ever won. And Notre Dame is there because people thought in August they'd be better than they've looked so far. Their defense has been atrocious. Yes? No? Am I wrong in saying that?
But you're making my case against preseason polls, by the way.
No. I'm great with an August snapshot.
Case.
I'm great with an August snapshot that we just throw into a blender once we start seeing football. That's all.
But people take that August snapshot and then they use it as the go-by for the remainder of their rankings throughout the month of September.
Right. I think you got to be
loose.
And
I would just prefer to not have that influence. By the way, this is exactly the reason why our Verballer Top 12 is superior to the AP poll, mind you.
Of course.
All right, and this is not just me saying it because I've got something to sell you, but I honestly believe it. There is a lot less regard for where teams were ranked last week.
Exactly.
And a lot more respect for which teams actually look the best.
We celebrate a limber poll.
We absolutely celebrate the limber poll. There's a lot of eye test here. Clearly, everybody's got their own formula for how they rank these teams. But our Verballer Top 12 is Ohio State, Oregon, Miami, Georgia, LSU, Penn State at 6, Florida State, Oklahoma at 8, A&M up to 9, and then Illinois, Georgia Tech, and Iowa State rounding out the top 12.
Yeah.
There are 3 really good examples, by the way, of why I think this poll is better. The first is Penn State, who I'm not going to wax poetic about, but I don't think Penn State has looked all that good. They are 2 in the AP. They are 6 in the Verballer poll. LSU, who you mentioned,
Right.
you might consider dropping a little bit. They're 3 in the AP poll. They dropped a spot. They're down to 5 in the Verballer poll. And Texas dropped entirely out of our poll. They would actually be 13th or 14th. I'd have to check the points. But the Verballers out there not giving Texas benefit of the doubt. And why should they?
Agree.
Why should they? What have they proven? That they should be in that top 12. Doesn't mean they can't jump back up to like number 5 if they get a big
poll.
win. There's no reason why they couldn't.
Yeah.
But more to the point, whether it's Texas, whether it's any of these other teams, whether it's Notre Dame, you got to show us something.
Yeah.
You got to show us something if you want to be ranked in any of these things. And I think that's fair. I think that's an entirely fair, defensible point of view.
Yeah. I just like our dear friend Super Mario, right? You capture that flower, you capture that, what is it, a Tanuki suit, right?
Yeah.
You capture that magnificent win, you have new powers in this poll. But if those powers run out, or if you take a little bit of abuse on your path to saving the princess, you're shrinking away from me. That's all. And I'm happy to apply this to any team. I'm not sure why Oregon was drawing. They were up 34-0 with their starters, and it's fine, whatever. It's a long season, but I started going back to look at, like, is anybody else at 0-2 still in a poll? And it's not just Notre Dame at 0-2. It's 0-2 with a bye before a big game, right? Notre Dame is being treated like an elite loser here, and I'm just not here for it when teams are accomplishing something. And so Notre Dame can climb back in. I feel like they have a quality ceiling still, and if you want to say that they are good enough to be in this poll when they're 3-2, 4-2, 5-2, whatever, yeah, I'll look at the manner in which they win those games. Like, sure, Notre Dame's in the poll, but right now it's just gross and embarrassing to have them here.